Welcome back, creatives, to Can't Talk, I'm Creating. Well, I guess today it's just I'm creating because it's a little different. I'm here today. Clearly, this is slightly a different camera angle, and it's only one camera angle. We're not cutting to the wide or cutting across there, and nobody's here. Steve's not here with me, Logan's not here, no guest. And this is apart from it just being a little different for you, it's different because typically we film these at night. Night a week. We film these sort of at the end of the day, the wrap up, kind of wind down kind of vibe. But it's currently, let's see, 7:20 in the morning, and I'm here alone. I don't know. I was driving here to the office this morning to the studio to start setting up for today's shoot, get these edits started. I just felt compelled to come in here and just kind of talk. I feel like I've given the I've been doing videos for 12 years speech a bunch, but that's the kind of the most natural place I could feel to start this because I don't fully know what I wanted, but I felt compelled to come in here and talk about it. It wasn't like I had this big point that I wanted to come make. It was more so just the brain dump of thoughts, I guess, on the drive here this morning. I just want to treat this like we're friends, like we're sitting here talking. I'm talking to a friend, because to be honest, I don't have that much. Not that like I don't have friends but in the pursuit, as you've seen over the last 13 episodes, we talk a lot about how this takes a lot of sacrifice and giving up a lot of things. Um, and yeah, that has led to not having a lot of time hanging out with people and doing stuff. So this podcast has kind of become my place to just chat with friends. And I liked the intro I did 2 episodes ago on episode 11, where it was just me and Steve, but for the first 5 minutes it was just me talking. And I enjoyed that, and I just want to kind of do that for however long I sit here right now. I started making videos. This is like I almost have this whole like written speech in my head. I've done it so many times. I started making videos when I was 12. Professionally, I've been doing it for 6 years. I've been doing videos since I was 12. I started in 2012. My first YouTube video was posted then. And when I started posting that, I didn't really know why I was posting it. I knew I watched YouTubers, and I just remember watching YouTubers thinking they could just get to make these videos. Like, they just have fun and get to make things they want to make and post it, and that's their life. And it was fascinating, and I wanted to do that, so I started doing it. And I just made videos. When I tell you I started making videos when I was 12, it wasn't like I loosely just like posted a video here, like from the first video dropping in 2012. Maybe I'll do a video on WaveChange too, on the vlog channel, to really like show this. But I started in 2012, and when I posted the first video, I have probably, if not once a week, multiple times a week, a video I can show that's still on YouTube privated. You're not going to find a lot of them. A lot of them are privated just because they started getting flagged for like child endangerment, I guess, because me and my friends were just doing dumb things. But as YouTube was changing their terms of service, I was getting flagged on that page, and I was like, bro, I don't want to lose six to like, what is that, 12 years of six, and but I don't want to lose all those videos, so I privated them all. But anyway, like when I started at 12, I started like I committed to this, and I've been making videos ever since. When I started, then I was making YouTube videos with my friends. I was making daily to weekly videos, just vlogs with my friends, going around our town in the woods, riding bikes, and just doing whatever and filming it. And then, like we've talked about on other episodes, when I was, I think, 16, I met one of my boys in high school who made music, started making music videos for him, doing photos for him. And that kind of led it into, oh, another friend made music, did his music video. And the more I did music videos, the less I was doing. In the beginning, it overlapped. I was doing my vlogs and I was doing the music videos. And then it progressively got more music videos and more business stuff. And not in a negative way, like that's what I wanted, because when I started making YouTube videos, and I can remember the feeling of like, I just want to make things, but I don't know what to make or like where to put all this energy. I once heard David Dobrik talk about how when he was a kid, he always heard that like you just try to work hard at something, like and that's what successful people do. They just work hard at this thing nonstop. And he was like, I want to work hard, I just don't know what to do it at. And I feel that because I started YouTube and I made vlogs because I didn't have anything else to make. It wasn't like I necessarily was like, I want my face to be in front of all these people. It was just, I don't have anything like a subject to film, so I got to do it about my life. And so when I got the music videos and started doing work with artists, I finally had something. It was like, this is it. I found the thing I could work hard at. and I fully committed to that from high school. Like I can vividly remember giving like basically not like starting to not care about real life things or like life things outside of doing the videos and building and like just doing the videos. It wasn't even necessarily like building WaveChange at the time, but just doing the videos. And then I knew this is what I was gonna do. From there, high school, probably sophomore, not sophomore, maybe junior to senior year of high school. It was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. And I went to college for a year in Philadelphia. I went to UArts in Philly for a year and a semester, I think. Um, and the whole time it was just that, like, that's when it was cemented. It was like, this is what I'm gonna do. While I was in school, I was going for video production in Philly. I was just, I was barely doing school. I would just like I would physically be there, but I couldn't tell you what was going on in those classes because I was editing the music videos in class. I was shooting music videos when I wasn't in classes. It was really just a year of like creating. I got to meet some of the dopest artists to this day that I've ever got to meet. I met one of my closest friends, Dejan. Um, my favorite artist I've ever met and got to work with. And I met some of the most amazing people. Eddie Heartthrob, one of the most creative and talented musicians and creatives and artists I've met. Destiny, one of the most phenomenal vocalists I've ever heard. Through this, I got to meet people like Jim Beans, one of the most like realist and dopest human beings. Like probably one of my favorite people to create with, Jim Beans. Shout out you, bro. Everything we've created, and every time we get to create, it's just a different vibe. But all that to say, that year and semester that I did in Philly really cemented it for me. Like this is what I was gonna do, and then I dropped out to do it. I was actively doing shoots. Yeah, it was like $200 probably a shoot. I don't remember fully. Probably like $200 $300 a video. But I dropped out. I told my mom, this is it. I found the thing. Now I just need to work at it. As if I was like, because I was gonna go to college to get a degree to find a job at a production company to do this. But I started doing it. So I was like, I got to do this, mom. And luckily, it was all right. The support was there. Like, let's commit to it. I'm not gonna say it was just like I want to do this thing, and she was like, let's do it. It was, of course, some like, are you sure? Let's figure, like, does it make sense? And blah blah blah. But she was there, and I dropped out, and I moved back home, and started doing it full time, like really full time, and just did it. And then right, I don't know, I'm bad with like months and how long and timelines, but shortly after moving back home and really committing to it, the hit, and the school was closed anyway, and I was like, damn, okay, maybe it was meant to be. And I really, again, locked down, and every like step of the way, every time it was like it was going to college, then leaving college, then every time something happened, it cemented it more. Like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, this is it, and it worked more, and everything just kept clicking and making more sense. It's been phenomenal, and it's always been this thing came first. And luckily, I have friends that some of the best friends from my childhood that just kind of understand what it is, and not that they're none of my friends from my friend group or childhood do anything like this or what I do, but they're supportive in that they understand that this is my dream, and this takes all of my time. And luckily, like with my core, the core people who have been there, I would say the core 4 or 5, even the extended, just like the group. It's always been just like, yeah, man, you're like do your shit, and then when I'm available, I'm available. And I have like my closest friend James, who is like the pinnacle of that. He's like the pinnacle of just do your thing, man, chase your dreams, and when we're both free, we're good, and it's like that, and we'll go days, weeks, months without talking, and it'll be fine. But yeah, that's how it was. That was the system that was built. And then we got the office, and like things were making sense. Like my whole life, I've known it's just this overwhelming feeling of like this is it. This works. It doesn't. I can honestly say I've never truly had the feeling of like what if this doesn't work. Like there's always fears of like shit, money's tight. Like we got to make something work. We got to connect some dots. We got to hustle. But it's never been like it's almost like the thought of this not working or WaveChange or me not creating things and this not being my life is the same thought of like me just stopping breathing. It would just be like, well, that's just me dying. That's just the end of life. So it never like I don't think of it that way. But when we got the office, let me double back a little bit. 2 years prior to getting the office, maybe a little less, or maybe a little around 2 years. We'll just say 2 years prior to getting the office. I got into my most serious relationship. I would say like my first adult relationship, where it was really like seeing a life and like talking about a life and planning a life and seeing the future with somebody deeper than just like the you're in high school and you're like we're gonna spend our lives together and get married and that, but like actually like seeing like oh this is what life's gonna be and figuring it out. And for the first time over the last like a year into that relationship, I I had it was the first time where it was like okay this is something else that like is worth it to me to put other time into. And the I think even just that thought like started to create this not divide but like feeling of separation between like this dream that I have now of like well we'll just call it wave change, but it's bigger than just wave change. But this dream of this thing wave change that like is this dream that's been building since I was 12 is now actively causing problems with this dream relationship that I've been picturing since middle school when I had crushes on girls. And it was really like this dream relationship. And it started to create this, like, it felt like it wasn't both. The energy needed to be on one, and it was like a balance between. And I couldn't figure out what the balance or what the fix was. And as if you've watched the episodes we've talked about it before, the relationship ended. So clearly, the choice I couldn't make the choice, and the choice was made. And now it's put in this place where I'm like reassessing the kind of the scope of the future, because the last 2 years I started really over the last 2 years is also the wave change has become more and more real and more it makes sense, and I can see it, and it's not just this dream but it is this company and this thing that it's like these are the things we have to do to build it, and this is where it's going to go, and this is the trajectory. But I've built that over the last 2 years with this lifestyle in mind of this relationship. This is where the future is going to be. It's going to be this. And now it just completely shifted. And it hasn't shifted like the like my love or the drive for it. That hasn't changed, but it's definitely shifted my perspective on building, laying foundations now to build something that I really want in the future that is sustainable for just me. I feel like this episode this is we're 15 minutes in and this has been all over the place. Hope you're still with me on this ride. But it shifted my perspective to building something that is good, that I'm good with, regardless of things leaving. Because in my brain, the last 2 years, this was like the thought of that relationship not being what my future wasn't even like, I couldn't fathom it. The way yeah, that was what was reality. And now it's building something that can sustain regardless of these external factors at the bare minimum, for lack of a better word. Not like bare minimum sounds bad, but something that a lifestyle that I'm happy with. Because when the relationship first ended, now I'm again bad with time, a month out of it, but when it first ended, it was very hard to like the future I was picturing. It almost seemed like I don't want that anymore, because I wanted that with the like I pictured that person there in this vision I had. But now it's like just with time, every day it shifts slightly, and reassessing that and really seeing what the future is going to be, building this thing out. And to kind of pivot points off of the relationship stuff is to the future of wave change and what I see. Like what is all this? I feel like I see it so clearly and it makes sense in my head, but I don't express it enough. And I really do want to use this podcast as the place to express that, and kind of like this. You watching this right now, I'm talking like if you made it, you're in this, you're 16 minutes in. If you're watching this, I want to build something with you and each individual person watching this, because this thing is bigger than me. This is a place that I want people to come and see it as like, if you're a creative, being a creative in the world is fucking crazy. Like if you're truly a creative, you have this calling inside of you that doesn't really make sense, and you probably can't fully articulate why. You just know you're called to this thing. And since I was 12, I had that thing, and I couldn't figure, like, I didn't know what word to express it, and I just tried everything and did different things. And I just want this to be a place of a community of people that can really just be in this together and pursue these things and chase our dreams, just try things together and be supporting each other, and know that, like, bro, this life is hard, and life as is difficult. Like, already, just life is difficult, and adding this external factor of, I mean, I work so closely with artists, and I was just talking with Dejan, not to air his business out, but the balance of like, you need a job in society to live and pay your bills and have a life, and that takes up X amount of time, and then having a relationship takes up basically all your other time, and then having friends takes up other time, and then being a creative, pursuing this career, that takes up the most amount of time and mental space, and even when you're with people and in a relationship, that a true creative still has that thing inside them that it just doesn't turn off, and it makes you feel crazy sometimes. Then when it causes you to lose things and lose people and friendships and makes life difficult, it'll sometimes feel like, am I crazy? Like, is this even worth it? Like, what is this? Like, what's the point of all this? And I just want to express and like really let you know that if you really have that calling, you're not crazy, and the whole point of it is just to express it, because art really is an expression. It's even in like a musician is the most obvious point, because they have feelings, they write it, they put their emotions into words and they express it. But even me, somebody behind the scenes who just, for 99.9% of the things I create apart from this podcast and the vlogs now, are in service of somebody. It's bringing somebody's idea or song to life. But even that, it's an expression. We've talked about it before, but I've created my favorite videos because of negative things. I created one of my favorite videos actively with the day my dad passed away. Not to just get deep, but 3 years ago when my dad passed away, the day he passed away, I filmed the video, and that video at that time became my favorite video. It still is one of my most creative. I think that like the best videos I've created and fully done. And I 100% equate that to the emotions, that the raw emotions I was feeling when I was creating it. For that, all that to say, even whatever you do, however, creating is an expression of emotions, and it's a way to get things out. And I just really hope people start to use it as a tool for that, because for one, that it's truly how artists can stay sane when you feel crazy, is really getting these thoughts that you feel like only you have and nobody can relate, and like you feel like you're alone. Put that into music, and if you feel like you're alone, use the music as a place like this, almost like you're talking to somebody else who does understand you, because when you put it out, the people who understand it will find it eventually, and the more you put it out, the easier it is for them to find it. But treat your creating as a process of like, I have these feelings, I need to tell it to somebody, I need to let it out, because that's how I treat it. Even if I'm editing somebody's, it could be a drill music video that has nothing to do with the emotional breakup that I'm feeling, but the way I'm treating it and the way you get to express or say something you want to say. So if you are in that place as an artist, whatever form of artist, painting, drawing, music, producer, you could make sculptures, you could paint walls, you could be a graffiti artist, you could trim plants, you could be a hedge trimmer, and that's your art, whatever it is. Express the feelings you have, because that truly is the one thing that connects us. Everybody is unique and special, but the one thing every single person has, apart from sociopaths, is emotions, and we all resonate. And Steve made a point, I think it was in the podcast, that I thought was really good, and I just want to double back on it, that just because like I'm going through this breakup, and objectively, if I look in the grand scheme, it's like, this is just a breakup, whatever. And I talk to somebody else who's talking to Dejan. We had a good conversation yesterday, and for the last month, I've been dealing with this thing, and it literally feels like my world is falling apart. Like, what I perceived as my future is falling apart, and it literally feels like the end of the world. And then I talked to Dejan, and he was going through something similar, with an added like he's going through a hard time where it feels like his world is shifting, and but he had an added thing that he was telling me that when I looked at my situation, I was like, damn, I don't have to deal with that. And it makes you realize, like, oh, like wow, that's a bad situation. And not that to say, I'm not making this point to be like, somebody has it worse, but his situation was worse, on like just explaining it, or more difficult, but I still resonated with the same emotions. Just because your situation might not be as bad as somebody else or worse than somebody else's doesn't mean they don't relate on the emotions. that it causes. Somebody could have just lost the same emotions of somebody losing their dog and somebody getting in a fight with a relationship. You could still resonate in the core emotions because that it's a real human thing. I'm kind of all over the place now, but yeah, I really hope people express it because that's why I'm trying to use this podcast is to express these emotions I have because I just want to get them out and I just have all like I be thinking a lot and I don't know and I just want to express it places and express it more than just in the music videos and that's kind of why I've been leaning so heavily recently into the podcast and now the vlogs and just doing more because I want to build this. I don't know. I fantasize about building this ecosystem where it's this community of people and we all like we create these cool things and we get to sit here and talk about ideas and express thoughts and the vlog is where we in the studio and we get to meet people and create things. Yeah, I hope it translates the way I want it to and I've been putting more emphasis on it to make it translate more and I've been the vlogs are now going to be rolling out more as like they've been with the last podcast episode and kind of a ramble and it's been all over the place but this was a nice quick little 25-minute extra episode for you this week. It was just me. I'd like to start doing these some more. Make sure we get our weekly episode where it's like the team, maybe we get a guest on. We get your hour and a half episode where it's just like what the podcast has been, but I like these little I don't know, if you watch this far, how did you like this little I don't know, just sit down and kind of vent because it was therapeutic for me. I just getting to talk, kind of tapping back into when I started YouTube. It's like something about just kind of expressing all the things on my mind and feeling like I get to say it to somebody and now it is somewhere and it could build and maybe tomorrow I have other thoughts and I can express that and just I don't know, we get to build this thing together and I don't know. Comment down below some things you as artists creatively or in life that you struggle with. I know scheduling and the balance of real life and artistry is hard. That's definitely we can go into that. I mean, we've talked about it before on some episodes, but it's definitely a difficulty and like truly committing to your art and building and not just committing to the art but building a business out of your art is a sacrificial thing because you give up so much for it and I've given up so much in the last 6 years from like fully just committing to this and writing off everything in life that isn't this, not seeing friends, not going to a bar. Like it's cool to say those things and post the memes, but like I don't go out and hang out with friends and like the memes of like if you hit me up, but like we'll talk about like oh yeah we gotta hang out, but like chances are we're not gonna because I'm gonna be doing this, and if I'm free, like I don't have people hit me up a lot. Like I'll have people hit me up and say like oh just let me know like when you're free, let me know and we'll hang out. But like I don't know maybe it's just me, but in the pursuit of this, like it isn't like I'm never just free. It's not like hey I'm just finished all my work today, I'm free because if something's done, there's something else to create or something else to work on, and there's always something else to pursue because we're not there yet. We can't be comfortable. We're not like where I am right now. Like this isn't like a job where just clocking in every day, I'll get the promotion, it's getting done, we're good. The foundation, there's no foundation when you starting something that it's like you got to build that foundation. I got to clock in every day and make this shit make something shake, make it connect. So 20 years from now, this is a company and we can hire people who can have that balance. And I feel like it takes somebody. Me and my brother were talking about this, like using the Vlog Squad and David Dobrik as an example. I know he's a little controversial on the internet right now or on YouTube, but for there to be that position where it's like a company like Amazon where you can clock in, clock out, and there's structure, you get paid, it's guaranteed, you can have your life. There isn't that with WaveChange because it doesn't exist. So there needs to be somebody or multiple people need to sacrifice basically that to build something so then the future generation, the next wave, the next people can have that balance. Jeff Bezos had to give up all of that real life things to build this thing. So then it's this huge thing that all these people can now have jobs and have lives. And I recognized that a couple of years ago and I committed to that and I was like, and every day more and more I get more committed to I'm going to make that sacrifice so Steve one day doesn't have to and Jose doesn't and the next person doesn't and the next people we recruit don't have to give this up because this is a dream, and like I wouldn't trade this. Like I couldn't imagine doing anything else besides this. And I want people, and I want a 12-year-old me who's starting this to be able to have that and not have to sacrifice the things they don't want to sacrifice for it. Um, so yeah, I kind of committed to being that sacrifice to build this thing and put that time in, and like let me build this thing that then can facilitate years of creatives and other people and ideas that can hopefully do it and not again have to sacrifice things in their life. Or yeah, I don't know, just be that. I just see it as like if sacrifice needed to be made, why do all of us have to go through these sacrifices? Like I'll just take on all the sacrifices, as many as possible, so then the team and the other people can thrive. Um, yeah, I don't know. Versus like all of us kind of just having to deal with some sacrifices together and just balancing it out. I'd rather just take it on. Like it just seems, if everyone has to deal with these things, if we can give it all to one, it's like the give up just one so everyone else can thrive. And I hope that's what that's what I'm doing here with WaveChange now with Can't Talk I'm creating. I'd love for these, not just love, but like I am gonna give everything and give up. I'm gonna give everything I possibly can, and I will give up to build this thing to what I just said, to where it is a place that a creative can come and create and be who they want to be and do what they want to do on the time they want, and not have to give up people in life. And I really do truly feel like there's a way that this makes sense, but society and America and the way life is, and it's just hard to do that. But but nothing's impossible, and everything is impossible until somebody does it. If you described Amazon pre-Amazon to somebody, it wouldn't make sense. You're telling me I could just get a rice cooker and some bed sheets delivered by the time I wake up? Like, if you described that pre-Amazon, that would make no sense. And if you would say one guy is going to start something that's going to facilitate that, it would be unrealistic. But it exists. It is realistic now. The thought of Amazon not existing anymore is even crazy. So it's like, it's possible. Somebody just has to do it and sacrifice for it. And I'm taking on that position because I truly want there to be that in this world. I wish I had that when I was 12 and I didn't. And maybe there was something and I just didn't know where it was. But now I know there is a thing, and it's right here, and I'm sitting on part of it, and I'm going to put everything into building it to what it is. And that's why I want to foster this community, and why like, I'm stressing so much. Like, please comment down below. Like, whatever thoughts, if you don't like something, if you like something, if you want more of something, if you think something's cool, like please just foster. I'm trying to get better responding to comments and implementing the comments into the matter of fact, because I'm bringing this up, we'll do it right now. But implementing the comments and what you guys are saying into these videos, because it's not, I don't want this to be something that you just like people watching me just blah 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 like talk. I want this to be bigger than me and to be a place where just creatives and creatives can come on, and that's why I love bringing the guests on and just yeah, foster a community of creatives, and to know it's okay to create, and no idea is crazy, and you're not weird for having ideas. And if you have an idea, before thinking, is this realistic or is this crazy, like to try it and share it with somebody. And if you have an idea and you're like, nah, I had this crazy idea, but it's like crazy, I don't even know how, I can't even fathom how I'd create this thing. Like, this is a community where your craziest idea, bring it to the table. Because I'm sure somebody will be like, yo, it makes sense. We can do that. Like the X, Y, Z, let's figure it out. Because I truly now, more than ever, the more I've done these music videos and done crazy things, put pianos in the ocean, set things on fire, like I truly now, more than ever, we built a carnival in the backwoods by the office. The only limitation is your idea. Anything can be facilitated. It truly can be. And you got to take liberty on exactly how you see it, because based on your situation, Like if you have a crazy idea to have you floating through space, you might not have the resources to facilitate it that it looks like interstellar, but I guarantee there's a way that you can get the thing that's in there, like you can get that out to the quality that it pleases you to get the thought out, and you build on that. Not everything has to be perfect. Even I beat myself up on that. That's why the vlogs took so long to really start, because I felt like they needed to be a certain way, and if they're like, I need to get them this way. But by doing that, I didn't have the time to make them that way, so it was causing them to take so long to come out. Where at a certain point, you just gotta step back and be like, starting a thing is sometimes more important than making sure it's perfect, because I find starting it and then making it perfect in the public eye is how I find the best. This podcast is a great example. The first however many episodes were literally white walls. It was this wasn't here. It wasn't cool. Like they were out of focus. They were poor lighting, no background. But just starting it, and that forces you into making it better. And every episode you make it better, and you learn actively in real time in front of people, because you learn more when there's pressure on, when people are watching, when you're getting feedback, than in a vacuum when you're just creating things and yourself watching it and tweaking it and fixing it, and like learn in the public, because you'll build more fans and you'll build more real people if you learn in front of everybody, because people will resonate with you as you're learning. My favorite artists are my favorite artists because I've been listening to them and watching them grow for years. And you grow with them and learn, like grow in front of people. Don't feel like your song, your video, your painting, your drawing has to be perfect to present it. Present the process. Show it and get notes, and then work on the next one. It's the pursuit of making one piece of art perfect is almost, to me, counter an artist, because as an artist, my whole goal is to express these thoughts. And if I spend my whole life trying to make one thought perfect, what about all these other thoughts that are eating me alive that I need to express? It's at a certain point, you just need to express ideas, and the quality will grow, and you can build the quality and make it better as you go. If you can't afford studio time, record on your iPhone headphones if that shit's shitty. Who cares? Post it, drop it, work on the next one. The next one, maybe you find an app on your phone to make it sound better. Maybe the next one, somebody cool listens to it and you're like, this is a cool idea. I have a studio. Come record one here. Boom. There's like, just grow in front of people, and you'll build a community of people around you. That's what I've done. I just create things and post them, release them to the world, regardless of other. I might release something and be like, damn, could have done that better. Well, on the next one, I'll do that better. And then on the next one, I'll see something else and be like, oh, this could have been better. And then you make the next one. And you infinitely grow more by creating, set a deadline, create, release. Create, set a deadline, release. Create, set a deadline, release. And learn from what you're releasing. Stop making one thing like this is my masterpiece. Because, at least in my opinion, you don't get to pick your masterpiece. It kind of comes from creating, and you'd be surprised what ends up being your masterpiece, I think. It might be the full scope of your artistry. It might be the whole, from when you started to your current day. That might be your your master work might be the whole catalog. Your master work might be the first thing you made. It might be 30 projects deep that you got to learn from 29 shitty ones. But yeah, I almost ended this at 25 minutes. Now we're 37 minutes in. But yeah, I think I think I actually went through everything that was on my head. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this extra episode this week. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe, like, and again, comment down below whatever's on your mind as an artist. Not when I say artist, I don't just mean who makes music. I mean artist in like artists. An artist who creates. I'm an artist. If you create is an artist. Ish, who painted this wall, is an artist. And it's deeper than that. People who, architects are artists. Woodworkers are artists. Artistry is deeper than just the I make songs. Now I understand that, like, now it's perceived as like, if you say you're an artist, they say like, oh, what, you make music? I love you guys. If you watch this far, I do truly, if you're creative and you watch this far, I do truly love you. And I just love creating an art, and I hate the thought of that spark going out in people, and I hope this podcast can be something to help keep that spark alive in other creatives, because that shit really does make me sad. The thought of the thought of somebody who truly has this calling and letting that shit go. Don't do that. If you're feeling that way, come back subscribe. If you have that feeling ever as an artist, come back every week, and I'm going to tell you every week. Keep going. Create something, because I want to see what it is. And ready, if you are watching this for and you do create something and you have that feeling, share the link or put somehow to that art in the comments of this episode, please. Let me check out your art, and I'll share it, and I'll check it out, because there's a purpose to your feelings and what you want to express. Like, comment, and subscribe. Come back every week. Episodes every Monday. Random episodes. So make sure you subscribe. Turn the notifications on, because they're randomly going to drop. Peace.